So I did some preserving this week. I'll show you a little bit of that here in just a minute. I will show you how I am getting my start on my garden, even though there's still snow on the ground. I don't have room for grow lights, but I have made my first step into my gardening for this year. So when you're out and about, keep your eyes open on the ground. Keep your eyes open wherever. I just pulled these coins up, picked these coins up, and if you notice that dime is silver. There's a Canadian and another coin, I have no idea, and then there's a euro cent there also. But right there, that's just one trip to the store. Keep your eyes on the ground. See all that snow on top of the building right there? It's all starting to melt. And the temperature is not going to get down below 0. So I am going to get the cap off of my tank, and I'm going to get it so that that snow will start dripping into my tank so that I have water come this summer for my garden. So it's just one of the things I like to do about this time of year every year, is start collecting water for my garden. So I need to get that done. That means I get to climb through a whole bunch of snow and get on top of that tank, remove that cover, and get it so that the overhang isn't hanging over. And you got to hope that it doesn't just let go on me, because that would, if it just slides all of that snow off of the roof, that'll really stink, because I'll lose all of that moisture. Wish me luck. I'm going to get to that. Okay, so there it is. It's all cleaned off. I got the overhang all broke off so that hopefully tomorrow when the sun comes out, if it comes out, it'll drip down into the rain gutter. And there goes my finger right in the way. And I got the downspout hooked up and into the tank. So that is the beginning of my gardening season right there. That is my first step so that I do not have to haul any water for my garden. Hopefully you can hear that. That is my tank filling with water. That is music to my ears. Wow, what a beautiful day. All that snow to come off of that roof too. Hopefully it doesn't just slide off. Hopefully it doesn't give way and just slide off, because I'd like to collect all of that water if I could. That would help me get a good start on my garden, which is currently still, now mind you, I'm standing on about 3 feet of snow. This is the greenhouse right here, and it's still buried under the snow. I got a ton. Because usually when you're standing on the ground, this is about to eye level. And I'm way above it right now. Lots and lots of snow to melt away. And I just have to give it time. He's really good at hiding himself, isn't he? I hope to see them with a bunch of babies this year. Hopefully the neighbor won't kill them all. Not much I could get done outside with all of the ice and snow still needing to melt off, so I had carrots that I got on discount at the store. I got 2-pound bags of carrots, and that made enough to fill up 9 pint jars with carrots, and we sliced most of them. Sorry about that. We sliced most of them, but we julienne cut 2 jars worth of them to try that out, because we've never done that before. We wanted to see if they just turned to mush, if they were too small or not, and it looks like it's going to work out just fine. I've already pressure canned them. I just took them out of the pressure canner, so now I'm just waiting for the lids to start popping. They're cooling off, and I will leave them sit here for overnight, but they won't take that long to cool off, that's for sure. But yep, they all look really good, and the only thing I put in these is a half of a teaspoon of salt. So they're going to be pretty plain tasting, which no matter what dish I want, I can always add spices or flavoring afterwards. Way better to do it that way, to can everything as plain Jane as possible, and then add your spices when you're ready to cook, or any type of flavoring. And also, in a real bad emergency, since I paid 89 cents a pound for these carrots, and right now I pay just about $1.05 per pound for the dog food that I buy. So this, if I feed this, any of the marked down fruits and vegetables to my dogs, I'm actually paying less for their food than if I feed them the dry dog food. So in emergency, if I needed to feed my dog something, I have these carrots to feed to him. Oh, you heard that, didn't you? One just popped. And that is a worst case scenario, because I'd much rather have these carrots for me to eat. But if they get past their 2-year date or something, and I don't have anything else to feed my dogs, I have no problems feeding my dogs this. A little bit of rice, maybe some yams. There's lots of human food that the dogs can eat that I can can up. And that's just one of my backups also for my dogs. But like I said, I'd rather eat this myself than feed it to the dogs. Here is 9 jars of pickled asparagus that I did this week. 5 of them for my $1-a-day preps, and 4 of them for just extra asparagus that I purchased in the same way at a discount, and I wanted to put more back, pickle it up. So yep, 9 jars of pickled asparagus. Anyway, I just came out here to speak a little bit, so I was watching another couple other channels, and with the high price of animal feed, wheat and everything going up, they're killing off their flocks, or narrowing their flocks down a bit. And I say be careful. That might be just exactly what they want. If they can get you to get rid of your flocks, all of your birds, any of your food that they don't supply, or that the grocery stores don't supply. If they can take away your self-sufficiency any way they can, they will. I know it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but it's just a theory that I have. In fact, I'm going to increase my flock this year. I don't care what the price of the food is, of the feed. I will find another way to feed them if I have to. And I'm looking into that. I'm looking into doing a cricket farm or mealworms. I can't really grow my own grains up here, at least not enough to make a difference. But I can come up with a few things that would stretch that bag of feed farther. Right now I'm paying about roughly about 60 cents a pound for feed, and once it gets up to $1 a pound, then I have to come up with another way to alleviate that problem. But just be careful is what I'm saying. Don't go off and kill off all your birds because you're saying, well, I'm only eating them or I'm only eating the eggs that they're giving me, so I'm gonna kill them off and I'll just buy my eggs in the store. Yeah, the eggs might be cheaper in the store right now, but you know that the higher feed prices are going to affect all of the growers. You know that the higher prices, the higher fuel prices are going to affect all of the shippers. It might be where you can't afford to buy the eggs in the store here really soon if everything keeps going the way it's going. And then, even if you don't feel like eating your chickens or your rabbits because they're pets, that might be the only thing you have. That might be what keeps you from going hungry once in a while. It's not gonna, you're not gonna raise, or at least I'm not gonna be able to raise enough to feed my family just on the meat that I grow. I'm not gonna have that many birds. I'm not gonna have that many rabbits. But if I had to ramp it up because it was getting worse and worse, I could definitely breed my rabbits. I could definitely raise some chicks as long as it was summertime. And that would help to alleviate some of my grocery bills. Because I don't know if you haven't noticed or not, when you go shopping, how many bags of groceries are you walking out of the store with for $100? How many gallons of fuel are you putting in your gas tank for $50? Even $40? How many gallons are you getting? You get about 8 gallons right now for $40. Just a little bit over 8 gallons is what I'm getting for my $40. And that's not even enough to put a quarter of a tank of fuel in my truck. So as times get tougher, you're going to be wanting some of those birds. You're going to be wanting some of those rabbits. If you have goats, if you have cows, don't empty your fields or your flocks right now, especially. At least wait until things settle back down. It's going to be rough times, and if you're killing off all your animals, you're really going to be in dire straits. Another idea is grow a bigger garden with the plans of preserving some of that food so that you can supplement your animals. Grow extra carrots, grow extra lettuce, feed your animals at least through the summer with the stuff that you get from your garden. So when you see things happening, look at all of the angles of how that could affect you and why somebody else might want to do that. Don't just blindly say, oh, well, this is because of Ukraine. Well, it's not. It's not all because of Ukraine. We have a president in office who killed our oil production in the United States the first day he was in office. He did that on purpose. And why did he do that? I feel it was for control. Because if the U.S. is independent on oil and we don't need to buy oil from any other country, then he does not have control of us. And you see how it's controlling us right now. You see what's happening right now. If he would have left that alone, where would we be? Still be oil independent. We would not have to buy oil. I know that we only get like 3% of our oil from Russia, but if we were oil independent, we could be selling more of our oil to the other countries who are driving up because they have to buy oil from Russia, and it's driving up the price of oil. It's all a big game that the rich people get to play and we get to suffer. And again, you're gonna say, "Oh, conspiracy theory." That's just how I feel about it. I see how it's affecting me personally and what it's doing. I see how the decisions that are being made, how they're affecting me, and I have no input on that decision that's being made. It's being made for me against my will. And with that being said, get out there and start feeding your independence. Start becoming less dependent on everything that's commercial and more dependent on yourself. Build your flocks. Figure out a way to feed them. Come up with other solutions. And if you have an idea of how to help feed your flock of chickens for less, please, by all means, leave that in the comments below. And, my rabbits, I go out and harvest hay or grass. Not really hay, but grass anytime I can. Put it in bags and I store it for the winter, and that helps feed my rabbits. So anything you can do to put something aside so you can make it through winter and you don't have to be dependent on everything commercial. Maybe you think it's a waste of time, but I feel like the more independent we can be, the prouder we can be, the happier we'll be, because we don't have to live in fear. Fear is where they want us. Don't live in fear. That's not good for your soul. Thank you for watching this edition of Not So Remote Alaska. And until next time, may God bless and keep each and every one of you. And with that, I'm out.